Today we are going to be driving and reviewing two iconic sports sedans, Tesla's refreshed Model 3 and the brand new 2025 WRX TS. Now TS stands for tuned by STI, so we're not quite at the STI level there, but they have added some specific things to the WRX TS to make it more special and inch our way closer to that. So I'm going to drive both of these. I'm going to show you what one does better than the other. We're going to go to a canyon road, drive them out there, and then at the end of the video, I will tell you which one I prefer and if the Model 3 performance is worth $9,000 more than one of the greatest sports sedans of all time. First, some numbers. Both of these are all-wheel drive with a wheelbase of 105.2 inches for the WRX and 113.2 for the Model 3. And the length is also within 2 inches, 183.8 for the WRX, 185.8 for the Model 3. The big differentiator is the curb weight. The WRX is 3,430 pounds, and the Model 3 is on its way to my 600-pound life at 4,054 pounds, which honestly isn't that bad for an electric vehicle, but there is a 600-pound difference there. The WRX has a dual overhead cam 4-cylinder 2.4-liter turbocharged boxer engine producing 271 horsepower at 5,600 RPMs with a max boost pressure from the turbo at 12 PSI. Torque is 258 pound-feet, and this one also has a moonroof delete to save weight, and it comes standard with a manual transmission. Tesla does not currently offer a manual transmission in a Model 3, but it might come with a software update. The Model 3 does come with 510 horsepower and 547 pound-feet of torque with a 0 to 60 time of 2.9 seconds. So let's see what we can get with a 0 to 60 run in the WRX. All right, 0 to 60, not bad. 6.3 seconds, and that's verified. So we got a 6.3 second 0 to 60 time, and I don't drive manual transmission all the time, and seem to put the power down. I feel like a good driver, if I was to get a good launch, I could do around 5 seconds or low fives, but overall, not too bad. Now I want to look at both of the exteriors of these vehicles. Tesla finally gave the performance models some unique characteristics to it, like this front splitter here, and you have these cuts to move air around the vehicle more efficiently. It does also have 21-inch forged wheels, which I'll show on the screen right now. I put these 18-inch wheels to be more efficient and get more range out of it. I just wanted to see how much more range we could get out of the vehicle. And it takes it up to like 356 miles of range when you put the 18-inch wheels on it. So I have a whole video dedicated to that. Let's get back to this. Now, regardless if you're buying a WRX or you're getting a Tesla Model 3, there are a ton of accessories for both of them. And one of the most popular ones is going to be mud flaps. These are from TParts, and these are excellent because the bottom of them is rubberized here, but then the back perfectly adheres with this hard plastic all the way up to the rear of the vehicle and attaches, and on top of that, so you get that crazy coverage because the wheel's going to be shooting up rocks and stuff from the road and eventually chip this paint. So you actually get some protection on the back of your vehicle here, and it's considerate for the cars behind you. So this from TParts is excellent. I'll have it linked below. The other thing you may want on a Model 3 is a carbon spoiler. So the Model 3 Performance comes with this beautiful carbon spoiler, but they make one for the other Tesla Model 3s, which is really well done. So that is another great accessory from them. And after my discount code, it's like $260 compared to like $550 from Tesla. The other thing that I want to show you are these deletes right here. These covers in your trunk are excellent because it just gives you more usable space up here while maintaining more storage down here. So anytime if you're putting groceries or things, you don't want them to slide down into these compartments, these perfectly fit on top and match the interior, and they have these little pulls so you can get them out. So all of this can be found on tparts.com. I'll have them individually linked below. You can use my discount code to give you a nice discount there. And their accessories and their customer service on the website is excellent. TParts, thank you for sponsoring this video. Over to the WRX. The exterior of this thing makes me want to vomit. Minus the wheels look incredible. What changed me though, and what changed me with the TR in the past and what makes this more acceptable is the car actually drives really well. What I hate about it is the fact that you're paying $46,000 and this thing has more plastic on it than an adult toy store. I just feel like some of this could be painted, but give us the dark blue, like give us more paint up front, make it more aggressive, just give it that extra little bit. I feel like even if this bottom lip was painted, it would just bring the car together more. Now, what I absolutely love are these wheels. This is a 19-inch specific wheel to the WRX TR had these, and now the TS also has them. But what they've changed for the TS is they've put these 6-piston, massive Brembo brakes on the front of this, and they've painted them bronze. They are also cross-drilled rotors. So the look of the wheel and the brakes and everything about this is incredible. And then they're wrapped in Potenza S007 tires, which are really sticky. It's a really high-performance tire. The great thing is they've added adaptive dampers to this. So you have 3 different settings you can go to adjust it overall. Down the side of the car, the side-eye profile actually looks pretty good here because you have great wheels. I don't mind the black trim around the side as much. The other thing to note is with the black trim here, this is a high impact area for rocks and things like that to kick up. So when it's painted, it gets chipped anyways. So that's actually nice that on the side of it, it's covered in plastic and you're not ever going to really notice the wear and tear. Now, one thing with Subarus that I've always felt is the doors, that actually feels a lot better than they used to. The old doors really felt like tin cans. These are actually heavier, as I just discovered by opening the door with my hand. So the doors actually feel more solid. Visibility inside the car is excellent. Another unique thing to the WRX TS is this deck lid spoiler is in black silica, as well as the shark fin here and these mirror caps. So there's minor things that they're dedicated to the TS, which I think is really cool. So if we add them all up, you have these 3 accents. You have the TS and red WRX badging. You have the specific wheels and brakes and tires. And then you have those little black accents on it. It also has a STI start-stop button. And on the digital display, it says STI in there. So coming around the back, it's our traditional rear of the WRX. Again, there's a lot of black back here. It just seems, you know, I see people when they like they wreck their Altima and then they get the unpainted bumper from the junkyard. That's what this is like. Like, I just feel if they added some, I'd be curious to see if you wrapped some of this with a paint match. I think that would be really cool. You have your quad tip exhaust. The exhaust sounds great. But what's really exciting and what gets even more specific to the TS is the interior. They've gone all out. It almost reminds me of like World Rally Blue with these things. So they're Recaro seats, and the steering wheel is also excellent with the blue stitching here matching the blue accents here, as well as black suede and the fake carbon fiber trim. I really wish they didn't have fake carbon fiber trim because it's obviously fake. They didn't even try to fool you. It should just be like brushed aluminum or something like that. Would look totally fine. But these seats are heated. They're not cooled. They have, again, the suede trim on them, the blue WRX and TS embroidered into the headrest here. And then the steering wheel is solid feeling. There's really no give to it here. It's very firm. It's just got a slight flat bottom to it. Perfect 9-3 grip. And your shifter is right where it needs to be. So the interior of this thing, they killed it. Look at this little black suede along here and as well as part of the upper part of the passenger seat. The interior is so exciting to me. And that's when you get a performance car like this, that's what you want. You want these cars to have things that are unique to someone that really cares about it. And it even carries over into the rear of the car. So that's nice. You got the blue trim there, the blue trim here. So they've done a really nice job with making it special and differentiating it from any other trim of the WRX. Tesla finally did the same thing. They added sport seats to the car. These sport seats, though, are heated and cooled. The cooled seats are excellent. These are very comfortable. These are much softer than these seats, but they both provide excellent amount of support. So as far as seats go, which would I prefer? It depends what you're doing. Daily driver, you're probably going to want to be over here simply because it's a softer, more comfortable seat. But going to the track, if you're going to be autocross or things like that, then you're going to be wanting this one over here. But both of them serve their purpose and are excellent seats. So the Model 3 performance on the interior, very plain. They have this carbon fiber piece up here. You have the same steering wheel that's in every Model 3 is in this. The 2 big differentiators on the interior are the seats and then this dashboard right here, as well as on the infotainment system under Dynamics, you have Insane Mode, which is 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, standard mode, which is 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, and chill mode, which is 0 to 60 in 7.3 seconds. You have your ride and handling are adjustable because this also has an adaptable suspension. And then you have track mode, which is incredible. Like the way that you can change the differential and where you want most of the power to go is really good. And that's what STI used to do with the WRX STI. So you still don't have that in the WRX TS. So this is a much more plain interior, obviously a ton of technology packed into here, but feels less like boy racer, less race car-y. So let's go over there. Also, real quick, this is a phone holder from Vion. They just came out with this, and it's electric, It's magnetic, and you can adjust it and tilt it any way. You could put this on the driver and passenger side, and it's really easy to adjust and maneuver all around. So, awesome product from them. Again, code Gjeebs will save you 10% on their website and free shipping. So here's the infotainment system on the WRX TS. Now, I know you're probably not buying the WRX TS for the technology in here. At least I hope you're not. This screen it's really outdated. I mean, it is laggy. It's very hard to use. Now, luckily, it does have wireless Apple CarPlay. That's a win, so that's good. But when you go home here, I just started the car up before. You're just constantly waiting for something. And I just think, all the years they've had time to upgrade this and they haven't. I'm not kidding. I filmed the 2015 WRX STI years ago. The reverse camera is the same. Look at this. The reverse camera that pops up on this. You know how they joke like you filmed that with a potato? I mean, what's that, 480p? I mean, that's unbelievably bad for the day and age that we're in. I think the Nissan Leaf was something similar to that. So there's little simple things like that Subaru could have updated with all of the time and all the years that they have, and they just simply haven't. Now, again, that's a minor part of the WRX because you're getting this for performance. Now, what I do love here, though, is their new digital display. It's beautiful. You can see it says STI in there, and it's very responsive, and it has a little blur to it. The refresh rate, you have your boost gauge down there, you have your speedometer over here, and then when you're driving, it actually shows the speed that you're going. I think they did an excellent job with how all of that looks in front of you. So I would just ask them, take this technology and move it over here. Make this a really high resolution screen with all your drive modes and everything that you'd want to see. But right now, it's just not what it should be for all the technology that is coming out in vehicles. So really cool interior. I'm really pumped to be driving this thing. And so what we have to do now is drive it. And I'm going to be driving these back to back. And I think that's going to give me a really good perspective on the weights of the vehicles, driving the manual transmission. What are the all-wheel drive systems like around turns? Let's go. All right, we're going to take this TS up some curvy roads, and then we'll jump in the Model 3. I just tried to put it in gear without using the clutch. So let's go. God, the steering it's very direct. And so it has the adaptable suspension. We're in Sport Plus right now, which feels good. This is a curvy road, but it's smooth. Staying in second gear. And it's just glued to the road. Jeez, this thing is pushed a little bit there. We kind of reached an edge. My goodness. That is incredibly... God, the way that thing stuck down through that turn, then you can feel the all-wheel drive system pull you out of there. It's really good. I just stayed in second gear that entire time, so I didn't even get to really enjoy shifting it, so maybe we'll turn it around here, start going in a different direction. A little more uphill. Here we go. Light throttle, pulling out and go. So the power is, it's not overwhelming. It's not underwhelming though. It's kind of, it's just fine. It's kind of, it's not, you know, we need an STI is what we need. But the handling is very good. The steering is very good. It's very confidence inspiring. And it ultimately feels pretty light. I mean, these tires are glued to the road. Now this isn't all seat, this is a summer tire. There's third gear. But it's so fun to drive, and the visibility out of the windows is really good too. Brakes feel good. Not that I'm anywhere near the limit on these brakes, but it's ultimately just really fun to drive. But are you driving on roads like this all the time? If your commute is like this to work, okay. The other thing is the exhaust is underrated on this thing. It makes some really good sounds. I like that it's not really loud, but the sound of the exhaust matches the speed of the vehicle. That's one thing that I'm very particular about with gas cars is when you change the exhaust on your car, you don't want it to sound faster than it actually is. And this, you know, they used to offer an STI exhaust. I don't know if they still offer an STI exhaust. Let's listen. Know what's coming. So look, the power is, I would say, underwhelming in this thing, but it's not a hindrance of the vehicle because it's very balanced. It gets decent efficiency, but it is so well balanced. I mean, my goodness, did they do a nice job. Like the Model 3, and here I go complaining about too much power, which I'm not, but the Model 3 is scary fast on a road like this. And most people don't have the ability, you know, to handle that type of power for how cheap it is on a road like this. Now, the car is extremely capable and balanced and all those things, and it has all the components it needs to have, but this, you have to work it to drive it fast. Not like a Miata, but in a different way. And I think the power is good. It's, you know, the STI would be, we hope that comes, but ultimately the power is very smooth. It's planted. It feels really good in your hand. The visibility is great around, you know, through your A-pillar in this small window here. That's really helpful. And the transmission feels great. The brakes have so much travel left in them. It's unbelievable. So now that we have a good feel for this, it's going to be interesting to jump in that Model 3 and see what that feels like. All right, so just sat down in the Model 3. Visibility's still good. Probably not quite as good. There's a little more stuff going on up here. Seats feel really good. Seating position is excellent, but my seat is cooled, so that's nice. Again, $9 grand more, a couple more luxury features, so that's good. All right, let's put the driving into dynamics. We're gonna go insane mode. We're gonna leave ride and handling in standard. Screw it, let's put it in sport. We never put it in sport. We'll do steering weight heavy. Okay, so we're all good there. Just went from a manual transmission to a car that has no shift stocks. You flick the screen. That is cool. You know, like in movies when they do the shot of the guy going, doing J turns, and in this you're like, flick. Well, it's quiet. Jesus. I can't even show what speed that just was. My God. This is like, honest to God, this is like a Nissan GTR packed into a tiny little box. This is like you just put a feral cat in a shoebox and shook it up. It is nuts what the Model 3 Performance is capable of. Not that it's cheap, but considering what it can do, it is cheap. And it handles really well. And it, like Teslas used to be one-trick ponies because, oh, they can go fast in a straight line. This can do a straight line, it can go around on a sprint, it can go around a circuit, and it has modes in here that help keep the battery management system, keep the battery cool and at the optimum temperature, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Is it laps? Is it a drag race? Whatever. My God, is this thing fast. And I'm on all-season tires, so I gotta kind of watch it, because I'll be switching back to my summer tires soon. I've never seen, by the way, so many people get upset that I switched wheels to a winter set. They're like, why would you do... Oh! Everyone got pregnant over that. I don't know. Giddly donk, hee-haw, hee-haw, it's Dominic the donkey. Gotta quickly shift on the screen here. All right, back up the hill we go. You can feel the car just struggling to, well, not struggling, it does a really good job with traction control. It's kind of amazing because you can put all the power you want in a vehicle. If it can't put it down, it doesn't matter. Yeah, these all seasons kind of have it dancing. Doing a little salsa. Yeah, it's a totally, just put the turn signal on. It's a totally different animal. It's probably twice as fast through these segments. And then you stand on the brakes and the thing freaking, you know, it stops. So yeah, this is a, let's get this turn signal off, huh? I need to get a new freaking mount. This, you don't even need to drive it that much to quickly understand how remarkably fast it is, and then you take it into turns and it handles those as well. I will say the summer tires do make a big difference than these 18s do. These 18s are a little more comfortable and get you 10 to 12%, 10 to 13% more range out of the vehicle, which is really cool that you can do that to try to avoid some chargers. But man, it's very comfortable in here. The seats are great in both vehicles. They both handle well. It's just different experiences. This is a better daily driver. So if you're looking for a single car solution, this is probably the better option for you. Unless you don't have a place to charge. I think if you can charge these overnight, you're gonna love them. It's gonna be great. Then you're not even messing with ever going to the gas station. Okay, so I think that that's really cool. But if you have to like go to a charger and sit there for 30 or 40 minutes to charge it up for the week, I find that annoying. And you want to make this convenient and not more of an inconvenience. So the sportiness of it, the handling, the track modes, the drive modes are really good. It's way faster than that WRX. It handles, I think, just as well. The WRX has more feel to it coming in and out of these turns. Part of that is because it has thinner tires, bigger rims. If this had the thinner tires on it, it'd probably feel a little bit more like that, but you feel more connected to the road in the WRX. This time, I can't say that I felt the weight as much as I did last time. Last time I compared the WRX and the Model 3, I really felt the weight difference, and I can't say that I did as much this time. So, let's turn this thing around. Let's give it another rip here. Yeah, I guess you can, like, deep into these turns, but then there's so much power to overcome the weight. I mean, it literally, you can feel the tires breaking traction. Traction control in these are so good. They're excellent in the snow, believe it or not. It's silly how fast it is. I mean, I never get to drive it like this. This is ridiculous. And the brakes are really good. So now we got to make a decision. So which one of these should you buy? Well, if we're looking for the direct comparison, the better option would be to compare a long-range Model 3 to the WRX TS. But I have Model 3 Performance. I wanted to get the highest performance model compared to the highest performing WRX and show you the difference between them. And no matter how fast this car is, no matter how much better the technology is, it's way more efficient, it will cost way less to run over time. There's something about the WRX TS and the WRX in general with a manual transmission that is so fun to drive. The other thing is, while there is a huge lack of technology progress in the WRX, it's very similar to how it was in 2015. Basically with just the addition of Apple CarPlay. I wish that they would really focus on adding some more technology into these things, but what they have absolutely done is smooth out the driving experience. The shifting feels incredible. The way the engine feels as you're revving it and going up the street with the Boxer engine, it's incredible. And I also wish that they would revise the styling on the front of this. I mean, the fact that a Model 3 looks significantly better and all of this junk plastic for a car that costs $45,000 or $46,000 starting is kind of ridiculous. The interior is essentially ready for a hot boy summer. It bleached its hair blonde and it's ready to go. I love the wheels. The brakes are more than enough. I really enjoy the WRX TS. For a daily driver, the Model 3 is going to be the better option. It's just more comfortable, has unlimited power, and drives itself. the WRX is going to be the better weekend car. It gives you visceral feedback and experience that you can really be engaged just by shifting the gears. So I absolutely love these things. These cars serve two different purposes, but do a lot of the same things, and I hope that is helpful. Now, if you want to see me review the previous WRX TR compared to a Model 3 Performance, click this video. Or if you want to see what a road trip is like in a Model 3, click this video.